crazy, right? But anyways, kind of walking around, we were kind of like fascinated of how they make their hats, and it's like picture, everywhere, picture, take a picture. Hey, check this out. And there was a couple of hats that we asked, like straight up, like, yo, could we get this hat? They had one, in particular that, it's Drake's thing, the October's very own. So we asked, can we get those hats? And they're like, well, we'll figure something out. So hopefully that's in the works, but we'll see. And then by the end of the tour, they actually have a team called the A-Team, which is like consistent of like 4 or 5 people, and they all make they had our like baseball caps ready. Like they actually like we had our favorite teams or whatever, and they had this all ready by the time we were done with the tour. I don't know when they started exactly, but yeah, they just made it that morning, so that was awesome. And and like with the A-Team, like they're known for making those like really complex, like difficult projects. Like if say you will, a couple with one with like a cap with hair extensions, or the oversized baseball caps, or the recently the Jeremy Scott era collaboration where they use like ostrich skin or something, and those are like $75 a pop. So crazy things like that. And yeah, man. And then afterwards, like me and one other guy, because we were leaving that Monday night, we had to go back to the hotel and check out. The hotel wasn't too happy because we checked out a little later than it was noontime checkout. We checked out at like 12:30 because I have no control over that. But we're like whatever, and they're like, oh, for future reference, check out at noon. I was like, yeah, whatever. Sorry. Alright. But yeah, and then like once we got back, and they took us back to the headquarters for lunch, and we ate pizza and wings there. And I don't know if I was sleep deprived or what, but I didn't really eat too much, but I didn't really want to eat too much anyhow because I'm ready to go move on to the next thing. It was crazy because they split us up in 2 groups where one group would meet up with a designer. But when we got back for lunch, like the crazy thing was they had a setup in their like penthouse. Well, what's it called, the penthouse of their headquarters, and they have like a display room of like the various different hats, and then in that room, like what was crazy was they each had like our favorite team. They had caps ready for us, and then they're like, hey, this is for you. So next to each of our name plates or whatever, or like they had like little name tags, we had hats ready to go. And it was crazy. It was even crazier, like those displays, those are for you too. So we're just like, what? So yeah, we started bugging out, and like it seemed like each little step or each little thing they did for us, like they surprised us, and we were just like, wow. And it's like a little more awesome as the day went by. So but anyways, once everyone finished lunch, we they split us up into 2 groups, as I said. One group would get together with with a hat designer and kind of come up with our own little custom fitted. So like this is like a one of a kind. You could do almost anything you want to it. There's really no boundaries for the most part, and there's like because it's not going for sale. You could do almost anything. This has to be not offensive, obviously, but and then like they split us up in the other group. What they were going to do with us is they gave us a $200 gift card to go shop at their flagship store, which was like right across the building. The flagship store itself was a little small compared to other flagship stores, but it's in Buffalo, so I mean it's where their headquarters is at. Hey, why not, right? So they give, and we spent some time shopping, and I did some damage there. I tell you what. I did some, and it took me a while to figure out exactly because there's so many choices. I was like, man, it's like, what do I really want? Or like, it's like, I'm trying, as because my mind running, it's like, like which hats do I got, or which colorways do I want? Which more do I need? Or like what style would I like? And after a while, I got a few like instant cops. I was like, and I got one that's kind of ridiculous too, but I kind of got for the novelty of it all. Like, what was funny is, and then like while we were doing the shopping, they're like, hey yo, y'all know you get an employee discount on this too, right? And we're like, what? It's like, word? So it was pretty substantial. I'd say it was about like 30% or something at least, or I don't know. Yeah, about 30, because like it came out to be about 22 per hat. So I don't know what 35 of 22 of $35 for a hat is or whatever, but excuse me. But yeah, so went from getting just like 4 or 5 to like, alright, let's gotta get double that. So I got like 10, 11 caps on top of that, and I went a little bit over. I paid like $20 for it, so which I'll take any day of the week. So once we finished shopping, they took us. We kind of did a slow switcheroo, and it was our turn to do our hat design, while the other group would, after they finish their hat design, they do their shopping. Right? So I didn't spend too much time with the guy, but shout out to Drew. Or I felt like, I don't know, I was like the last one to finish. I was the last one to kind of go, really. And and it was tight because I kind of gave him like my basic concept. And I'll kind of elaborate more on that in another post. Or but I kind of gave him what my vision was all about, and and he would help kind of collaborate some ideas and throw some ideas at me too, and like we were just like, this is my hat, what do you really want? But he was so helpful, man. I mean, like, we kind of put the vision together, really, and then he kind of incorporated a nice little touch with it, kind of because I wanted to kind of just show my home state pride, or like should let everyone know where I come from. And I've seen a couple other people's like concepts, and like I was hearing about those. I was bugging out, like this is going to be crazy. And then once we finished it, and like, yeah, thanks to Drew, by the way, that was his name, if I didn't say it earlier, but he helped make the vision alive. And at the time we all thought this is going to be our one of a kind hats or whatever. And as we were wrapping up, they told us, like, look, man, if you want like multiple hats, just give us the run size of the hats, or run of the hat size, and we can get those for you. So we were like, okay. But then like one of the guys was like, what would be tight, like one of the guys ran this idea, is like, hey man, what would be sick is like we each get everybody's individual custom hats, and like we all kind of get that together. So we shared that back to the New Era staff, and they loved that idea. And so in about 2 months time, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how everyone's hats look, and saying like, yo man, you can't find it, like, you can't get this anywhere else, man. So that's going to be it's going to be crazy. And then people are and people like the hat blogosphere of hats are going to go nuts. And then like, yeah, and then like and then the next phase, like they took us through like different conference rooms, and like kind of show us things from unreleased hats to what's upcoming, their next line coming out. And and it felt like, and they showed us like each design a hat and like what they're expecting in the next year or so, with their fall lines and beyond. Just like, damn. And like there were some hats that were saucy, like they was like, man, it's like really. Of course, they had some snapbacks that were just like, oh, it's cool. So it's like, oh, that's nice, and then like, oh, damn, it's a snapback. I don't know, man. But whatever. And then like we met up with and then like they took it, and then like we met up with some guys and kind of see like what their visions they have for the future moving ahead, and kind of we kind of just flipped ideas from there and telling them about kind of setting up like kind of setting up like that hat head culture where like sneakerheads they have sales or like dunk exchanges or conventions or something like that where people would get hype or like they'd be willing to camp out to get the latest J's or whatever. We're trying, and like New Era, what their next step is like they're trying to set up something where people will get genuinely excited to possibly wait in line to get the next hat. I've seen it happen in a few stores too, like boutiques, like especially in Hawaii. So we all know it's definitely out there if the demand's right. So and also kind of this touch base on like kind of like expanding upon their brand and like going into the apparel line and things like that. So it was really cool to let them share that vision with us and what they're because we to them like we're almost like we represent like the whole world of cap collectors, and they really appreciate our visit.